I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
Hear that? Say it again.
I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
And one more time.
I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
Do you feel any resistance coming up in you as you say that?
No, I felt fairly good doing that.
Pure transformation. Hey guys, it's Matt, and welcome to episode 3 of Pure Transformation. We're working with Christofer Lovgren today, and he generously provided the audio from this session that we recorded on his podcast, Do Explain. If you want to listen to the full session, then you can go over to his podcast. The link is in the show notes. But today we're going to try a new experiment and just focus on about half the session where the transformation happens. I'm really excited about this episode. I get to show off some of the new treatment ideas I've been working with around insecure attachment and secure attachment based on the work of Daniel P. Brown. You're going to see some work with seeing his parents in a new light and relating to his parents in a new way, and how that changes the way he is attached to the world. So I really hope you enjoy this episode. As always, please leave comments and feedback and enjoy the show. I just want to take a step back and talk about where we are now. So we've gone through the evoking phase of evoking this feeling. And we then we're finding some resistance to the process itself. So we went to get buy-in. In the process of buy-in, we went to introspection, finding the deeper cut around wanting Chris's dad to love him. And once we did that introspection, we moved on to acceptance. We accepted the part from its own perspective, seeing all the things that were positive. And we also accepted parts from other perspective, from an outside perspective, maybe seeing some things that were negative and not needing to hold on to those, but still recognizing that they're there and there's some nuance. We call that the yin and yang of acceptance. And now that we've gone through the acceptance phase, we can go into a little bit of exploration of the part and the boundaries of it. We can ask some questions of it. We can begin to explore some nuances that maybe weren't there before. So, Christofer, just let me know when you feel that you've embodied this part as much and as deeply as you can in this moment.
Yeah, so I feel fairly connected to the part that feels like a child. And I'm not sure if that is that part or something that part is protecting, or
Yeah, that's okay. So you're feeling really connected now as this part goes through your body to this part of you that feels like a child. Great. And as you connect to that part, what's coming up for you in terms of bodily sensations, memories, beliefs, or thoughts, or metaphors as you connect to that part?
I feel this urge to get something. And this is, we're going the whole 10 yards here, but I have a peripheral issue where I feel not only in my relationship, where often I want the affection from my wife, I want her to give me something rather than being able to give that. And that feels very childlike coming from a lack. And I have a peripheral thing where with attractive women in particular, where I really want them to validate me. I really want an attractive woman to notice me. And I feel like that is an extension of this somehow.
I wonder if you could just ask this part, how old it is, and notice what comes up for you.
I feel like my stock answer here is 4 years old. That always comes up. And I don't know if I've confabulated that or not, but that's what comes up.
Okay. Thank this part for giving that information, for being open to speaking here. And can you, as you imagine you or this part at 4 years old, do any images, memories come up around being 4?
Got
Even just impressions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I got 5 up now, no 5 years old, and then I got a very, very vague memory of being at I don't remember exactly, but some kind of sports fair with my dad. And I just remember I'd never played handball before, and somehow I got onto the field and was supposed to be part of it, but nobody had explained to me the rules or what I was supposed to do. And I remember getting the ball and doing something wrong, I suppose, and feeling extremely shunned and like I was completely bad for doing that. And I don't remember my dad's reaction, but yeah.
Okay. So I want you now to, as much as you can, put yourself in that place. You're feeling 5 years old. This might be the genesis of this part, or maybe the genesis was a tiny bit earlier, but this is really a strong memory for this part. Allow yourself to just notice that, remember that, get into that. And as you get into that and allow yourself to get as much into that mindset, space, feelings, thoughts, intuitions as you can, I'm going to, again, step out and give some of my thoughts about what's happening here.
Yeah.
So when Chris talked about his desire to please women, and he talked about his relationship with his father, and he talked about deserving love, and he talked about doing the wrong things, all of these point to attachment issues and some sort of disorganized, insecure attachment. Now, as we begin to explore this, knowing that there's probably an attachment issue here, there are 3 pillars of beginning to treat attachment. One of them is metacognition, recognizing that your interpretations may not be correct, recognizing that there are other ways to think about the situations. 2 is having a model of secure attachment and feeling what it's like for someone to be securely attached to you and take care of you from that secure attachment. And then 3 is a feeling of a collaborative relationship with the caregiver. So as we begin to go into exploring and questioning here through this lens of this early formative memory, we're going to try and do some processes that can explore and question in all 3 of those different directions. What would it have been like? What would it be like to look at metacognition here? What would it be like to feel the secure attachment here? What would it be to feel a collaborative relationship in this moment?
So, excuse me. So I'm having some issues getting out anything more from that memory. It's very,
That's okay.
Yeah, it's very vague, but I did get another memory that's come up a lot. I don't know if it relates, but I have a memory of being at an island in Sweden called Marstrand. Also, when I was young, maybe I get up 4 there too, 4 or 5. And my dad and I, we were up by a castle that's very famous there. And I remember we were flying a kite or something like that. And I remember there was this guy who came up to us who was maybe in his 30s or something. I don't know. But he was just, and you can feel a person is just off. There's something weird about him and you don't get a good feeling. And I just remember strongly feeling that this person wanted to hurt me somehow. I didn't feel safe. And I remember my dad, I just wanted him to pick me up or like clearly tell the guy that, because he wanted to hang out. I think he even said that he wanted to hang out with me or something creepy as shit like that he wanted to fly the kite with me by himself or something. And I was terrified of that. And I couldn't tell my dad. And I just wanted him to put his foot down and, mark that, no, I'm protecting my son and he needs me right now. And that I remember. Yeah.
So I want you to step out of that memory now and hang it up on the wall as if it were a TV screen so you can watch it from a little bit of a distanced perspective here.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And as you look at that memory, what is the meaning you drew from that moment? What is the meaning of that memory for you?
I'm not safe.
I'm not safe. I'm not safe. And what was the meaning you drew about your relationship with your father around that not being safe, if any?
I mean, that he won't be there to protect me.
Yeah. I'm not safe, and my father won't protect me.
Yeah. Maybe I'm not worthy of protection. Something like that, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. All right. So I want to check in. I'm not safe and not worthy of my father's protection. Does that hit for you as you try that meaning on? Does that really feel resonant?
I don't get clear resistance to it, but I feel like there might be some nuance there.
Just taking a moment, allowing that to come up, allowing what nuance wants to be added here.
It feels a little more less about my dad and more about I'm not safe and no one will protect me. I feel like that feels better.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not safe and no one will protect me. Does that feel resonant for you?
Yeah, that feels much better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, looking at this picture now, and you can imagine that was the meaning you drew in the moment. And you can imagine if you were a film critic, a third person, just watching this movie, just watching what was happening. There's potentially other meanings that could be drawn from this scene other than this person is unsafe and no one will protect them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to do is just give me another meaning that you could have drawn from this situation.
My dad is insecure and he doesn't know how to act.
My dad is insecure. Act, okay. Great. What is another meaning you could have drawn from this situation?
I mean, I guess I could have... that I was never in actual danger. Maybe this was a nice person and I just remember it that way.
Yeah. That I was never in actual danger. Actual danger. Okay. I'm safe. My dad's right there. He would have done something if anything bad had happened. Right?
Yeah, right.
My dad would have acted if I was in actual danger.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he might have. Yeah, he might have even. Yeah, yeah. No, that's great.
What other meanings could you have drawn from this situation?
He's trying to teach me to handle myself, maybe.
My dad is trying to teach me to handle myself. Okay, great. Let's go for maybe one or two more here. What's another meaning you could have drawn from this situation? Maybe something totally unrelated to safety and danger. Is there another meaning you could have drawn from here?
We were having a nice father-son.
Having a nice father-son time.
He wanted to share that with me because he loved me.
Okay. And one other interpretation here could be related to safety and danger, could be totally different, whatever comes up for you.
Flying a kite is hard.
Flying a kite. Great. Okay, so what I want you to do now is, in a moment, we're going to have you step back into this memory. And we're going to have you imagine as if you had drawn each of these different meanings. Okay? You're just going to notice what it would have been like to draw that meaning in that moment and see that memory through that lens. Okay? Notice how you would have felt different. If you would have acted different, notice that. And just take a moment. So I want you to hop back into that memory as vividly as you can. Imagine you're there. Imagine the same things are happening. And the first thing I want you to do is imagine, okay, what would it have been like to draw the meaning, to be thinking, feeling, flying a kite is hard in this moment, okay? I want you to take a moment to see what that would have been like. And let me know when you've run through that.
Yeah, I'm more frustrated that it's not working well and this creepy guy is bothering us.
Yeah. Okay. rewinding the memory back to the beginning. You're there, you're feeling what you're feeling. The situation is happening. And the meaning you draw from this is my dad is trying to teach me to handle myself. Notice what that's like.
And I'm supposed to like go through the same motions, or is it okay to tweak the memory a little bit to...
If you would have acted differently.
Yeah.
You can imagine, yeah.
Right.
I don't want you to change what actually was, but if you would have acted differently, you can change, your actions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want you to watch through it again and notice what it would have been like, or what it was like, to draw the meaning, I'm unsafe and no one will protect me.
Yeah.
I want you to go through and notice what it would have been like in that moment to have drawn the meaning. We're having a nice father-son time. My father wanted to share this with me because he loves me. Notice what that would have been like to draw that meaning.
Yeah, I'm having some resistance to that. Like I'm getting a voice saying that, yeah, but he wouldn't have done that this way if that was the case. Like I'm resisting it a little bit.
Okay. That's okay. So let's move on to the next meaning here. What would it have been like in that moment to draw the meaning? I'm not in actual danger. If I'm in actual danger, my dad will act to protect me. And finally going through again and drawing the meaning, my dad is insecure and doesn't know how to act. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, one final thing I want you to try. Imagine if you're in that moment, you begin to draw the meaning, I'm unsafe and no one will protect me. And then you recognized that there were other ways to interpret this situation. And you brought up several of these different ways. What would it have been like to draw one meaning, then realize that there were other meanings to draw, and think about some of these other meanings? Notice what that would have been like in this moment. Great. So I want you to go ahead and hop back out of that memory, viewing it again as if it's on the wall.
Yep.
And now when you look at that memory, does it still feel in your heart of hearts that it means I'm unsafe and no one will protect me? Or does it feel like that's just one of many possible interpretations? Either answer is fine here.
No, I'm not as sure of that as a description of truth anymore. And I actually just want to add to this. It's super interesting how well it ties into the epistemology of this underlying this podcast. Just that it's all conjectural, it's all interpretation, and everyone is fallible. You don't have the absolute truth. But as a kid, I guess these interpretations are it's easy to draw that conclusion that this must be the absolute truth. Yeah.
And so now that it's not true. I really want to check in. Does it still feel true, or has your feeling changed around it?
No, it doesn't feel as valenced anymore.
Got it. Great. So taking a step back here, one of the three pillars is metacognition, right?
Right.
And so what we've just done is looked at what would it have been like to have the metacognition in that moment to notice that the way I'm interpreting this is maybe not the full way. So sitting with that, checking back in now with this sense of anxiety, or what was anxiety, noticing if your internally bodily sensations have changed at all, and just connecting with any changes, if any, have happened.
Yeah, I feel much more calm and less kiddie, like a kid, if that's a word.
Yeah. So we're going to, I think, stick with the same memory, and maybe what we'll do is try one of the other pillars here. So from this outside perspective, I want you to notice your father. And I want you to imagine what it would have been like to have the ideal father figure in this instance. Have a father figure that was securely attached to you, that knew your needs, that knew exactly what you needed in that moment, and was able to react and provide that in that moment. So I want you to run through, try and make a change internally or externally to your father, and run through a few times until that feels like, yes, that would be the ideal father figure in that moment. Okay? If you need to change how he looks, that's fine. If you want to keep it looking the same, that's fine too, right? And run through, and this is from an external perspective. You're not in the memory yet. You're just looking and notice how that scene would have been different with the ideal father figure. When you feel like you've got something, let me know.
Right. So tweak the scene and perhaps my dad to more of a secure, how I would wanted him to act there for me to feel safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Not just how you would have wanted him to act, but if he was the ideal father figure, he had the exact thoughts, feelings, behaviors of the perfect parent that you would have needed in that moment. What that would have been like. And as you're doing that, just a little bit of meta. This is called the Ideal Parent Figure Protocol. It's from a particular type of attachment therapy. And again, we're going now to the second pillar of secure attachment, which is experiencing that feeling of secure attachment, experiencing what it's like to be in a relationship with secure attachment from your primary caregiver.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. This would have been great.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've gotten now what that would look like?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I would view perfect parenting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
now I want you to allow yourself to jump into that moment and experience what that would have been like to be in that moment and feel that love and caring from your father and protection as well. And you can go through that as many times as you're still getting something from it. You're still feeling something good from it.
All right, I'm happy with that.
Great. Jumping back out now from the memories, if it's on the wall. And I want you to imagine attaching this next to the other memories. You have the other memory of what actually happened, and your many different meanings you could have drawn from this. You could paperclip them together. You could attach them in a file. However you want to attach these two versions of this memory together now. Allow yourself to do that, and let me know when that's done.
So the version of all the interpretations, and then the good one.
Of all the interpretations, and then the imagination of what would have the ideal father in this scenario would have done.
So I attach them somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Have you done that? Or are you still working on that?
I'm still working on it.
Okay. Let me know.
All right. Yeah.
So now, we're going to try something else here. We're going to do a few more things just to experience the secure attachment. I want you to try and jump back into that memory of you and your father with the ideal father figure. But this time, I want you to notice what it would be like from the perspective as your father. To be that ideal figure, to be thinking in that ideal way, and to be giving it to Christofer in that moment. Okay? Yeah. So I want you to allow yourself to experience that as many times as you can, in as many ways as you can, until that feels like it's no longer doing anything for you, and there's nothing more you can get from that perspective or that experience.
So I put myself in his shoes and experience it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In the ideal father figure shoes, yes.
Yeah.
Great. Coming back out. Looking at those two memories attached to each other. Noticing how you feel now internally. Has this feeling, this part of you that was anxious, has it shifted internally? Are you feeling any differently about it as you connect with it?
Yeah. I mean, if anything is left, it's much thinner and much more further away.
And would you describe this differently than anxiety now? Is there a new name you want to give to this part of yourself and this feeling?
I don't know. It's a weird tinge of maybe, I feel kind of content right now. I can't tell if that's the part related to that, but I don't feel.
Okay. So we're going to do one final thing here, and then we're going to go into some integration. If we were working together as clients, we might work together with that as a memory and do some integration later. But I want to go into the final pillar here, this collaborative relationship. And so I want you to connect with now your feeling around your relationship with your father, how it's shifted, your feeling around attachment and how it's shifted. And I want you to imagine now that it's not some ideal parent figure, but there's your father there who wants to protect you. Who but maybe he doesn't know what you need in the moment, right? Maybe he's not perfect at reading your needs and reading your mind.
Yeah.
And I want you to notice what it would have been like in that moment to communicate what you needed from your father. And for your father to want to give that to you and provide that for you once you communicated what you need. So it's not the perfect failure who just knows what you need without doing it, but he's good enough. And once you're able to communicate that and you feel safe in communicating that to him, he's able to give you what you need. So now imagine what would have been like in that moment for that to happen. And this will be a third version of this memory that we'll save.
So it's still on the TV or on the wall? Or do I...
Still on the TV, get to a point where it feels good, and then you're going to jump into it once you've gotten that version of the memory down and it feels realistic and accurate and powerful to you.
Got it. Yeah, I'm actually having trouble with it a little bit. I'm getting a distraction from another known voice that comes in sometimes. And It's the voice that... My most clear example is getting a massage that I've waited for a long time, and it costs a lot. I'm at a spa, and all I'm thinking is when she's rubbing the back, oh, is she going to do the arms? And when she's doing the arms, oh, I hope she doesn't forget I'm tight in the ankles, and like not being able to enjoy that. So that voice came in now. Oh, but what about the physiology and how you're afraid of doing stuff? Are we going to get to that? What you would call that in the process? But yeah.
Yeah. So welcome that. I'm happy to, talk about potentially working with you further. I think when we check back in with this, we may find that some of that has shifted as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that was not an urge for you to stay with me for 4 more hours. That was just what the voice was.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. I sort of welcoming that voice, understanding that voice.
Yeah.
And we'll get to what we can get to. Yeah. Is there anything that voice needs now in the moment? That it needs in order to move forward?
I mean, I feel, I feel shame towards that. Like, that is shameful to think that and want. This goes into different things as well. Like, I ask for something that I want and I feel like I'm being a nuisance, or like you're taking more than you should and you're being obnoxious.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't feel resistance to continuing. I don't think, no.
Okay. Yeah. So as we continue here, you can just welcome that we can do so in a way that honors both that shame and that desire to make sure we cover everything. And as you do that, you can allow yourself to edit this memory in a way that edit this new memory in a way that honors both of those needs.
So is that a general thing where whenever resistance comes up, I acknowledge it, I thank it for what it's trying to do, and then I try to move on if I have...
If there's a way to move forward that can honor the needs of it, yes. Yeah. All parts are welcome. There's no such thing as resistance, just more wisdom for how to approach the process.
Right. That's nice.
Now allow yourself to step into that from your perspective and feel what it's like to have had that collaborative relationship where you're letting your needs known and your caregiver wants to help you meet those needs.
Yeah, that's great.
And now stepping into your father's shoes in this moment, noticing what it would have been like to be him in this moment and being asked and wanting to meet those needs.
Yep.
Okay. Stepping back out, connecting this third memory to the other two in some way, and letting me know when that's done.
Yep.
Okay. Now looking at these 3 images, videos, however you're seeing them, this old meaning of this was, I'm unsafe and no one will protect me. What is the new meaning that you draw from these images?
Yeah, I'm safe.
Anything else? Is that what's coming up for you? I'm safe? Is that complete?
I'm safe and I should be protected.
I'm safe and I should be protected. Okay. I'm safe and I should be protected. Do you deserve to be protected? I want to check in with that. Either answer is fine, yes or no.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. As you say that out loud, I want you to hear that, notice how that feels, and notice if there's any resistance as you say that.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I often feel very, very subtle movements in the solar plexus, but not.
Yeah. Great. So say it out loud. I want to hear you say, I'm safe and I deserve to be protected, like you mean it.
Oh, this is the hard part. Yeah. I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
Hear that? Say it again.
I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
And one more time.
I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
Do you feel any resistance coming up in you as you say that?
No, I felt fairly good doing that.
Great. Where are you feeling that? What in your body as you say, I'm safe and I deserve to be protected?
I mean, I have, also in the solar plexus chest area. And I kind of my wife can be a force when reckoned with. So I just got a flash of her protecting me, being angry because someone was trying to hurt me, kind of, as corroborating evidence of this.
Great. So, sticking with that feeling for a moment, I'm just going to go meta for a second.
Yeah.
Talk about where we're at. So, we went through questioning, and we explored this memory, this formative memory. We could have explored through beliefs. We could have explored through feelings. We happened to go with memories, because that was what was coming up for Chris. We went through, and we explored them through the 3 pillars of secure attachment. And now we have one belief pillar of secure attachment here, which is I'm safe and I deserve to be protected. Now, and again, that was through memory reconsolidation, we activated the old schema. We then created a juxtaposition that said that might not be true with these 2 different types of memories, with these new forms of experience. And then we learned a new schema, which is I'm safe and I deserve to be protected, to replace the old one. So now we're in what's called a reconsolidation window. We have about 30 minutes or 3 hours where this new memory is in a label state. And we're going to try and add as much corroborating evidence, as many different anchors for this during this labile state, to make it as strong and powerful as we can. So I don't want to spend too long on this. I know we've been here a long, long time, but I do want to give you just a few integration tools here to make this much stronger, to make this much more powerful.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm more thinking of you. You're doing me a favor here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this stuff. I do.
Okay,
so
that's great.
So you just said that you now had an image come up of your wife protecting you, right? So I want you to take that memory you created earlier, those 3 things that are connected, and this memory of your wife protecting you, and I want you to put them in the same place, in this new place in this new database you're now creating of I'm safe and deserve to be protected. Okay?
Right. So I put the 3 things that are connected together in the same place as this memory.
Yeah. And let me know when you've created that place and you've put them in there.
Yeah. It's a box.
Yeah.
Very creative.
And now I just want you to allow yourself to run through your life from very, very young all the way up to now. Notice all the other times that fit this idea that you're safe and you deserve to be protected. And allow yourself, one by one, to add them to that box. Okay? So just take a couple minutes here, run through your life, the different periods in your life, and notice all the memories that fit this idea that you're safe and you deserve to be protected, and add them to that box. I want you to get to where there's no doubt you have so much evidence that you're safe and deserve to be protected.
Yeah, I'm getting some doubt there. I'm getting some what if you can't find any, or what if you find evidence to the contrary, like some little resistance.
So I wanted you to start with allowing yourself to find memories, and we are going to address that resistance in just a moment of what if there is contrary evidence.
Right.
Okay? And ask that part if it's okay to be put aside for a moment if we address it after we go through this first step.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes, I got a good handful at least.
Okay. Now, were there any resistance around memories that were sort of counterexamples to this? To I'm safe and deserve to be protected.
Resistance to counterexamples? What did you...
No. Were there any counterexamples?
Oh, right,
As
right,
you were
right.
thinking I'm safe and deserve to be protected, were there stuff that come up that's like, I'm not so sure because of this, because of this? Was there anything that came up that was like that in terms of memories?
I mean, I remembered a particular instance or two where I felt like I didn't get the protection I needed, but and maybe
Yeah.
but not a strong yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually very important when we're building new self-concepts to include counterexamples, right? Because you don't want, when you go out into the world, you're going to run into situations where you might not feel safe, right? And if your self-concept is built around, well, I never ever am in situations where I don't feel unsafe, it's going to shatter immediately. But we can build in these counterexamples to this self-concept. And we can throw in, okay, here's counterexamples, here's times when maybe I wasn't acting through this idea that I'm safe and deserve to be protected. And we can make this much more robust. So I want you to bring up maybe one of those times when you felt unsafe. Okay? Are you comfortable sharing the memory or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure unsafe. I mean,
Okay.
I felt really scared and put out and like I needed help, I guess. Could that be close enough? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. We were in Spain and we had rented. Actually, it's a slew of similar ones. But I had panic disorder, not clinically diagnosed, but I had panic attacks out of nowhere, seemingly, for quite a while. And so it would either be we were in Spain for a trip for 2 weeks and I would not be able to sleep and I would have panic attacks and I would run out in the garden and cry by myself and be really scared. Or I would do the same in my apartment in Sweden when I was living with a buddy. I would just run out in the woods in the middle of the night. Same kind of thing. And I felt like my... Yeah.
Great. Okay. So I want to do... Well, we're going to do a couple of things here around this. Okay?
Yeah.
So looking at that memory as if it's on a television screen. Okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to do a few things here. So one of the things is around self-concept we can do. And this comes from rapid transformational therapy. As you look at this image, I just want you to, I'm going to give you a sentence stem, and you're going to say the stem and then let whatever arises from that come up. Okay? So when you look at this memory, I want you to say, that's not me because... and see what comes up.
Right. Like the new memory we're talking about.
No, the memory as it was. The one where you were going out and going into the garden.
Yeah.
As it was. Looking at it. The you in that memory. That's not me because. And see what comes out. It can help to do this out loud.
Yep.
And just see what comes out. Yep.
That's not me because I'm lovable.
Another one. That's not me because.
That's not me because I would ask for help.
Again.
That's not me because, I'm getting the anxiety again. Coming in. Blocking my creativity a little bit.
What is the anxiety wanting in this moment?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Just welcoming it, sitting with it. If we continue here, is there a way to go forward that honors this anxiety, or does the anxiety need you to stop in this moment?
It's hard to say. I feel like we can keep trying and see.
All right.
How it reacts.
That's not me because, in a way that honors the anxiety.
That's not me because I don't feel like that.
That's not me because I don't feel like that. Okay. So stepping now into that memory. What could you have done in that memory if you had the belief I'm unlovable? All right, I'm lovable. How would you run through that memory? How would you have acted differently in that memory if you had the belief I'm lovable? Okay.
I'm sorry, my battery is dying out of nowhere because I've been closing my eyes. Can I just get the charger real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. All right, mate. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so the memory.
Yeah. So you had 3 that's not me because that's not me because I'm lovable, that's not me because I would ask for help, and that's not me because I don't feel like that anymore. Okay?
Yeah.
So I want you to jump back into this memory as if you're there experiencing that sense. Noticing what it would have been like in that moment to feel that you are lovable and to ask for help. How would it have gone differently? What would it have been like to act through this new sense that this new belief, where is it? Did I not write it down? But the new belief is that I'm safe and I deserve to be protected, right? There we go. Let me write that down.
Right.
So what would it be in that moment if you had thought that you're lovable and you had asked for help? And notice and just run through what it would have been like in that moment to do that.
And how did I connect it with the belief, did you say? I feel like you mentioned...
Yeah, I just want you to notice. I just want you to notice in that moment what would have been like to think that you are lovable,
right,
and that you would ask for help.
Yeah,
experiencing what that would feel like, look like, how that would have gone differently. Okay, jumping back out now, viewing it as if it's on the wall, and connecting this new memory again to the old one. Here's what happened. Here's how I could have acted differently in that situation from this new sense. Letting me know when you're done. Are there any other memories now, other times when you felt unsafe or not cared for, that want to change in similar ways, that want to join this memory in noticing what it would have been like to think that you're lovable in that moment, ask for help, and recognize that that's not you because you don't feel like that anymore?
I mean, yeah, the memory that we started with, I think.
Yeah. Allow that to join this now. And allow that to change in similar ways. Again, keeping the original one, but attaching this new idea of what could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Adding these two now to the box in a special place for mistakes you've made, for times that maybe you don't feel safe. And noticing that you can choose to act in ways that allow you to find that safety. Noticing that in the future you might run into these situations. That you can allow yourself to find safety and protection in those places. Letting me know when that's done and those feel added to that box in a special place for mistakes and counterexamples and how to act. Okay. Saying again out loud, I'm safe and I deserve to be protected, like you mean it.
I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
Noticing how that feels. Has that feeling shifted at all as we've created this box, or is it the same? Either answer is fine.
When I say that, it feels good. I felt a little anxious doing the last two there because I felt like I was getting a little tired and conscious of the time. But that sentence feels like it's not just a platitude. I actually feel like that makes sense to me.
And does it feel any different? I'm trying to check if anything happened with that box. If it feels stronger, weaker, or the same as you say it now compared to before we did this box.
I'm safe and I feel like I deserve to be protected.
Not that you feel like you deserve to be protected. Yeah,
you're right. I noticed that.
Try again. Yeah.
I'm safe and I deserve to be protected. I think I feel a little sensitive about those memories that we brought up. That's coloring it a little bit.
Okay, is there anything else that needs to happen here with those memories to get them more integrated?
I guess the issue I have is when I'm trying to envision myself asking for help in those scenarios, I don't feel like I would have gotten the help I needed anyway. Because of who they were, the people that I would have asked in that situation. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bringing those memories up again. Putting them side by side. That's not me because
I have people in my life who would help me.
That's not me because
I wouldn't allow myself to get to that point.
That's not me because
I'm lovable.
So, can you imagine now? I know you couldn't have done it in that instance, but if you had people in your life you could go to, if you were at a place where you wouldn't get to that point, if you're at a place where you're lovable, can you imagine what it would have been like in those instances to have those things in place and to act in that way? In other words, maybe at that moment, at that time, it was impossible. But where you are now, could you imagine how things would have gone differently?
Yeah, oh, this is brilliant. Yeah, that's much better.
Okay. So, again, putting those back in the box, noticing now how that might feel different, more integrated.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have suggested something here that works, I'm smiling ear to ear. So I just want the listener to know that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know when they're added to the box.
Yep. They're in the... Yep.
Saying again, I'm safe and I deserve to be protected, as if you believe it.
I'm safe and I deserve to be protected. I deserve it.
Okay. How does that feel now? Stronger than before we had the box, weaker, or the same?
Yeah, stronger.
Great.
Because it shows me that, yeah, I'm not frozen and stuck in the states that I were then. There are other options. It's, yeah.
All right. So I sort of want to end it here. There's a lot more we could do with integration. We could integrate different metaphors, different ideas. We could integrate it deeper into your body. There's actually one thing I want to do that's really important to do here.
All right.
I just remembered that I was going to go here next, and I think it's actually pretty important. So again, saying again, I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
Noticing where you feel that, noticing the part of you that believes that. Asking that part again, how old are you? And seeing what comes up.
Yeah, I'm trying to analyze it because it doesn't make sense to me, but 6 I got now.
Great. It doesn't have to make sense. Now asking this part, would it be comfortable growing up now? Experiencing not just who you were when you were 6, but all the rest of the experiences of your life. Integrating all the wisdom you've had to... How old are you now, Chris?
29.
Yeah, all the way up to 29. From 6 to 29, experiencing all that wisdom. Ask that part if it's ready. It can still maintain that inner child, but it also gets to have all this wisdom. Can you ask the part if it's ready to grow up now and experience that?
Like including the insights we just had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to allow that to happen. Allow that part to grow up, become older and deeper and wiser, and experience all that. And let that happen on its own time, and let me know when that process feels complete.
And just to be clear, I go through my actual life, not what it would have been like if I knew this then.
Whatever the part needs to grow up, you can go through.
Right.
As it wants to grow up to 6 and 7. Yeah, typically you would go through your actual life, but whatever the part needs in order to experience that growing up now.
I feel more like a gorilla now than a puppy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And the reason I wanted to get to this was you mentioned earlier that you felt very young when interacting with people.
Yeah.
And often this is because we have a part that was when we were 6, and it's still that 6-year-old. And growing this part up now, saying again out loud, I'm safe and I deserve to be protected.
I'm safe and I deserve to be protected. Fuck yeah.
And does that feel stronger, weaker, or the same as before the part was grown up?
I mean, I feel like I'm buzzing a little bit now in my body. So yeah, it feels good.
Great. So checking in, again, asking this part, how old are you? And just seeing what comes up.
I almost unanimously get resistance when I ask this because I feel like I'm making the answer up.
That's
and
okay.
I'm thinking too much.
What's the first thing that comes up? Yeah.
The initial thing was 29, which would be great.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and this is it doesn't seem logical when we ask this, but it doesn't have to be logical. If that's a good check to do, if that's the first thing that comes up, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and stop the session here.
Pure transformation.